He's just a great kid. He's just a great kid. So I don't want to blow his head up too much. He probably won't even read this. So just a real special kid. Just fun to be with him.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are clearly starting to fall in love with Tom Brady's son, Jack. In fact, some might even go so far as to say he is shocking them with some of the stuff he's done around the team in the past few years. Why could that be? Stick around till the end of the video to find out all that you need to know regarding Jack Brady, his NFL future, and his relationship with the Buccaneers. Brady invited his son to camp.
We try to be the best you could be, for them. For my son, is Jack, who's probably the best part of my football career, is having him at training camp with me for 2 weeks.
It all started when his son Jack began visiting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jack would always visit the football field when his father was out there, but it became headlines when Tampa Bay allowed him to show up during training camp and become their ball boy for a little bit. The rumors that he could potentially be following in his father's footsteps came almost immediately afterwards. Jack shared a few pictures on Tom Brady's Instagram page running around and retrieving balls for the team. On top of that, some of the images show him speaking with some of the coaches and players to further understand his role and mingle with the roster. The kid was decked out in Tampa Bay gear as he helped his dad's team out, and Brady himself had a few lines to share about this moment. In the images posted to his social media, Tom said, "Buccaneers got a new ball boy this week. He takes his summer job and every rep very seriously, just like his dad."
And really a treat for me to have him. He thinks it's fun. It's probably way better for me having him out here. So it's really, really cool.
The kid clearly has the same determination of his father. And if that's the case, the NFL world might be destroyed when this kid gets old enough to make it into the NFL. The bottom line, though, is that if this visit didn't end up happening, we wouldn't see a lot of this talk regarding how impressed the Buccaneers are regarding Jack. Jack got practice in with Buccaneers. This is why the fire was fueled even more this past offseason when Tom Brady brought Jack to another training camp practice. Only this time, Brady let his son throw a few footballs and get a few reps in on the side of practice. Social media went ballistic when the photos and videos began to hit the internet from Jack. Of course, when you hear that the greatest quarterback of all time has a son, and he's throwing the football at his dad's current NFL team's practice, then you are going to draw a lot of attention. Jack was seen towards the side of practice running a few reps. He wasn't getting guys like Mike Evans running routes for him, but Brady had his son rolling out a few times and keeping his eyes down the field before throwing it back to him or whoever else was on the other side of the pitch. In the videos that were posted up, Jack and Brady were hanging around all of the other quarterbacks on the roster with some of the positional coaches and were tossing the ball around. Jack was winding up and firing a few passes down to his father as Tom cheered him on while he tossed them back towards him. The video shows the backups, quarterbacks, and such practicing in the same area. So it was just like Jack was a part of the team. Tampa Bay was also kind enough around the Thanksgiving holiday that they kept out the quarterback net for him to try and hit. For those that don't know, the quarterback net is that net that usually gets brought out for quarterbacks to practice throwing footballs into pockets. In this instance, Jack was rolling around and trying to fire footballs away at the pockets, just like quarterbacks do at the skills competition in the Pro Bowl. He wasn't able to make the few that were caught on camera, but that didn't stop him from smiling on the way back and getting some happy nods from other coaches hanging around to watch him sling it.
It's the best. I had him out here for training camp last year, which was amazing for a dad. So it was pretty special. Just love having him. And as much as I can be around him, the better it is. So
he's learning from the best.
He's good with everything. Let's run, let's go on the boat, let's golf, let's ride bikes. I mean, he's pretty cool with anything.
Not all of the positives from this visit were visual, though. Jack was able to hang around the quarterback's group for most of the day due to his dad and got to soak in as much information as he could possibly gather. Not only was he learning behind one of the greatest players in league history already, but the positional coaches and the other quarterbacks were talking all around him as he just soaked up the knowledge like a sponge. It might not seem like an awful lot when you look at the video, but information and knowledge like this is invaluable in the NFL. As Jack develops into a football player, if that's what he wants to do in the future, then this knowledge is certainly going to help him out along the way.
It's obviously a great thing to be a parent, so it's great to have your kids out here watching you work.
Jack is already on the gridiron. Jack actually already plays football as well. Many might not be thinking about Brady's son as an already blossoming football player, but he's already taking the world by storm. He doesn't have the body structure that makes him jump off the page like some of these other super athletic players do, but neither did Tom Brady. And we all know how that worked out nowadays. Looks and builds aren't everything, especially for a player that many think will go into the NFL as a quarterback within the next decade. Jack is currently playing for his high school football team, but not in the position you might think. His primary goal is to play free safety. Yes, free safety. He's a ball-hawking safety that can do it at a high level on the back end. When he's not defending his own end zone, Jack can flip over and operate as the team's quarterback. Whenever you have a player that can play two of the most important positions on each end of the field, you have a guy that might be a phenomenal draft prospect when he tosses his name into the ring for the NFL. Jack's potential is clear, and Brady knows it. It's obvious to have your doubts, but the Buccaneers certainly seem to know the talent that is walking in and out of the doors every single day. They are well aware of the potential that Jack has when it comes to being a possible NFL player. They are giving him a ton of chances just to come in, learn, and throw some footballs around with his dad and other great minds. There is one thing that's for sure, though. Brady doesn't care whether or not Jack is able to live up to the expectations that will surely come if he pursues an NFL future. Brady himself jumped on a podcast to say, "I don't give a shit how well he does. I just love watching him and seeing him enjoy it with his friends and the camaraderie at a young age. I remember being in high school myself. I loved being out there with my teammates, having pancake breakfast on Saturdays. He has meals on Friday nights with his teammates, and it brings out the best parts of us. So it's really a treat." Though Brady wasn't done hyping up his son just yet to all the people out there that are listening to what Jack might become, Tom finished up his statement by mentioning he's a grinder and he's a very good athlete, great hand-eye coordination. He actually moves better than I did at his age. I love watching him play quarterback because I think there's very few things in life that I could probably help him with. The kid has a long journey still left in front of him before we might be able to see him strap on an NFL helmet and hit the gridiron with whatever team decides to draft him and hope for the potential to come out. There is one thing that's for certain, though. The Buccaneers are clearly interested in the young man and have hope for the future of his career. I know for a 100% fact that his father Tom Brady knows that Jack will just have fun out there and isn't going to place massive responsibilities onto his shoulders. Leave us a comment down below if you think that Jack might be able to get himself into the NFL down the line, or if he might shy away from football due to the immense pressure being placed on his shoulders at such a young age.